Imagine a fortress so powerful that no external force could ever disturb your peace. The Buddha once said, "Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise remain unmoved by praise or blame." In today's hyper-connected world, our energy is under constant assault, from digital notifications to emotional vampires, from past regrets to future anxieties. But what if you could create an impenetrable shield around your energy? What if you could move through life's chaos with the unshakable calm of a mountain lake? The ancient wisdom of Buddhism offers us 5 powerful shields that can transform how we protect our most precious resource, our inner energy. Welcome to an exploration of the Buddha's 5 energy shields, timeless practices for protecting your vital force in a world designed to drain it. I'm not just sharing philosophical concepts. I'm offering practical tools that have transformed lives for over 2,500 years and are now being validated by modern psychology and neuroscience. In our modern world, we face unprecedented demands on our energy. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. We're bombarded with over 5,000 advertisements daily. We navigate complex social dynamics both online and offline. And many of us have been conditioned to prioritize others' needs above our own. It's no wonder that terms like burnout, compassion fatigue, and emotional exhaustion have become part of our everyday vocabulary. But the Buddha, living 2,500 years ago, already understood the fundamental challenges of human energy management. He recognized that true peace comes not from controlling the external world, but from mastering our internal landscape. Today, we'll explore his 5 shields for energy protection: strategic silence, compassionate detachment, freedom from the past, mindful boundaries, and inner validation. These aren't just ancient teachings, they're practical tools for modern survival. The first shield the Buddha taught was the power of strategic silence. In the Ubhaya Sutta, he outlined a profound framework for speech. Words that are untruthful, unhelpful, unpleasant, and divisive should not be said. Words that are truthful but unhelpful, unpleasant, and divisive should not be said. Words should be spoken at the right time. In our age of constant sharing, we've lost the sacred power of silence. We post our achievements before they're solidified, share our plans before they're realized, and expose our vulnerabilities to those who haven't earned our trust. The Roman philosopher Seneca echoed this wisdom when he wrote, "The unwise person reveals all their plans. The wise person keeps their intentions hidden." Consider the story of Maya, a talented artist who began sharing her creative process online. At first, the validation felt wonderful. Likes, comments, and shares fueled her creativity. But soon, she noticed something changing. The opinions of others began to infiltrate her creative space. Criticism would paralyze her for days, while praise pushed her toward creating what others wanted rather than what her artistic vision demanded. Most troublingly, she found that speaking about her projects before completing them drained the very energy needed to bring them to life. A psychological phenomenon called premature identity labeling explains this energy leak. When we share our intentions before acting on them, we receive a dopamine reward that can substitute for the deeper satisfaction of actual achievement. Studies from NYU and other institutions have shown that announcing our goals publicly gives us a premature sense of completeness, reducing the likelihood we'll follow through. To practice strategic silence, try this. For your next important project or personal growth goal, identify a small circle of 1 to 3 trusted confidants who have earned the right to hear about your journey. Share only with them, and notice how this containment creates a protective field around your creative or transformative energy. For everything else, let your actions speak first, and let your words follow only when necessary. Remember, silence isn't about deception, it's about discernment. It's about recognizing that your energy is sacred and that not everyone deserves access to your innermost world. The second shield is compassionate detachment, the art of caring deeply without absorbing others' emotional states. The Buddha used the metaphor of the lotus flower, which grows in muddy water yet remains unstained. He taught that true compassion comes not from taking on others' suffering, but from maintaining our center while offering genuine support. Many of us, especially those with high empathic sensitivity, unconsciously absorb the emotional states of those around us. We mistake this absorption for compassion, but the Buddha taught that true compassion requires boundaries. As he said in the Siddhaka Sutta, taking care of oneself, one takes care of others. Taking care of others, one takes care of oneself. Dr. Judith Orloff, a psychiatrist specializing in empaths, distinguishes between being an empath and having empathy. Empathy is a conscious choice to understand another's perspective, while being an empath often involves unconsciously absorbing others' emotions. The latter can lead to compassion fatigue, a state of emotional exhaustion that affects many helping professionals and naturally sensitive people. The Tibetan Buddhist practice of Tonglen offers a powerful technique for compassionate detachment. When encountering someone suffering, imagine breathing in their pain as a dark cloud. As you breathe out, transform this darkness into light and healing energy that returns to them. This visualization creates an alchemical process where you can engage with suffering without becoming it. Another practical technique comes from modern psychology, the compassionate boundary visualization. When entering environments with heavy emotional energy, imagine a permeable golden light surrounding you. This boundary allows you to sense others' feelings without absorbing them, much like a semi-permeable membrane that allows certain elements through while blocking others. Remember, compassionate detachment isn't cold indifference, it's sustainable care. The Dalai Lama, one of Buddhism's most compassionate figures, maintains that if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. But this compassion must be grounded in wisdom and boundaries to be sustainable. The third shield is freedom from the past, the practice of releasing resentments, regrets, and old narratives that drain our present energy. The Buddha taught that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Many of us carry the weight of past hurts like invisible backpacks filled with stones. Every resentment, every regret, every moment of shame or betrayal we refuse to release becomes an energy drain in our present life. The Buddha recognized this when he taught the principle of anicca or impermanence, the understanding that everything, including our pain, is in constant flux. The Greek Stoic philosopher Epictetus offered a complementary perspective when he wrote, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Both traditions recognize that our energy is wasted when we mentally live in a past we cannot change. Neuroscience now confirms what these ancient traditions intuited. When we ruminate on past hurts, our bodies produce stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, creating a physiological state of threat response. This state requires enormous energy to maintain and diverts resources from healing, creativity, and presence. A powerful Buddhist practice for releasing the past is the fire ceremony. Write down what you're holding on to, a resentment, a regret, a painful memory, on a piece of paper. Read it aloud, acknowledging its impact on your life. Then, safely burn the paper while saying, "I release this burden. It no longer serves me." Watch as the paper turns to ash, symbolizing transformation. For those who prefer a more psychological approach, try this exercise. Identify a past hurt you're holding on to. Ask yourself 3 questions. What need of mine wasn't met in this situation? How can I meet this need for myself now? And what would become possible in my life if I released this burden? This process helps transform victimhood into empowerment and drains the emotional charge from painful memories. Remember, forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or maintaining unsafe relationships. It means freeing yourself from the prison of the past. As the Buddha taught, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The fourth shield is mindful boundaries, the practice of saying no to what depletes us and yes to what nourishes us. The Buddha taught the middle way, a path of balance that avoids both excessive self-indulgence and extreme self-denial. This teaching applies directly to how we manage our energy through boundaries. In our culture of productivity and people-pleasing, many of us have been conditioned to equate self-worth with constant availability. We say yes when our energy reserves are screaming no. We take on others' responsibilities at the expense of our own well-being. We allow interruptions, intrusions, and impositions that fragment our attention and drain our vitality. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca warned against this tendency when he wrote, It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Both Buddhist and Stoic traditions emphasize the preciousness of our limited time and energy, encouraging us to be intentional about where we invest these resources. Modern research on decision fatigue supports this ancient wisdom. Each decision we make depletes our mental energy, and saying yes when we mean no creates a particularly costly form of internal conflict. Studies show that people who maintain clear boundaries experience less stress, greater productivity, and more fulfilling relationships. A powerful Buddhist practice for developing boundaries is the sacred pause. When faced with a request or demand, pause and take 3 conscious breaths before responding. During this pause, check in with your body's wisdom. Does this request feel expansive or contractive? Does it align with your deeper values or pull you away from them? This brief moment of mindfulness creates space for authentic choice rather than automatic people-pleasing. For those struggling with chronic boundary difficulties, try the energy audit practice. For 1 week, keep a simple log of your activities and interactions, noting which ones energize you and which ones deplete you. Look for patterns and begin making adjustments based on this awareness. Small boundary shifts can create dramatic energy transformations over time. Remember, boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They don't disconnect you from others. They allow you to connect from a place of authenticity and sufficiency rather than depletion and resentment. As the Buddha taught, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Boundaries are a profound expression of this self-respect. The 5th shield is inner validation, the practice of finding worth and meaning within rather than seeking it from external sources. The Buddha taught that attachment to praise and aversion to blame are 2 sides of the same suffering. True peace comes from recognizing our inherent worthiness, independent of others' opinions. In our social media age, we've externalized validation to an unprecedented degree. The average person will spend over 5 years of their life on social media, much of it seeking approval through likes, comments, and shares. This external validation seeking creates a dependency that drains our energy and leaves us vulnerable to the changing winds of public opinion. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, wrote in his private journals, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Both Buddhist and Stoic traditions recognize that outsourcing our self-worth creates suffering. Neuroscience research shows that the same brain regions activate when we experience social rejection as when we experience physical pain. Our nervous systems are wired to seek acceptance, making external validation a powerful but ultimately unsustainable source of well-being. A transformative Buddhist practice for developing inner validation is metta, or loving-kindness meditation. Begin by directing phrases of goodwill toward yourself. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free from suffering. This practice cultivates an internal source of the very acceptance and appreciation we often seek from others. For a more cognitive approach, try the validation inventory exercise. Make a list of the external sources you rely on for validation, social media feedback, compliments on appearance, recognition at work, etc. For each one, identify an internal source that could fulfill the same need. For example, instead of seeking validation for your appearance through compliments, practice appreciating your body for its functionality and the experiences it allows you to have. Remember, inner validation isn't about becoming indifferent to feedback. It's about creating a stable core of self-worth that can receive feedback without being defined by it. As the Buddha taught, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. These 5 shields, strategic silence, compassionate detachment, freedom from the past, mindful boundaries, and inner validation, form a comprehensive system for energy protection. They work together, each reinforcing the others. When you practice strategic silence, you naturally strengthen your boundaries. When you develop inner validation, releasing the past becomes easier. When you practice compassionate detachment, you're less likely to seek external approval. The Buddha's wisdom on energy protection wasn't just philosophical, it was intensely practical. He understood that our energy is our most precious resource, the foundation upon which all other aspects of our lives depend. Without sufficient energy, Our relationships suffer, our work diminishes, our health declines, and our spiritual growth stagnates. Modern life presents unique challenges to our energy that even the Buddha couldn't have foreseen. Constant digital connectivity, information overload, an unprecedented pace of change. Yet the fundamental human tendencies that drain energy remain the same. Our attachment to others' opinions, our absorption of emotions, our clinging to the past, our difficulty with boundaries, and our compulsion to share before we're ready. Implementing these 5 shields doesn't happen overnight. Like any meaningful practice, energy protection requires patience, self-compassion, and consistent effort. You might begin by focusing on just one shield that resonates most strongly with your current challenges. As that practice strengthens, you can gradually incorporate the others. Remember that protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. When your inner reservoir is full, you have more to give to others, not less. Your relationships become more authentic, your work more impactful, and your presence more healing. As the Buddha taught, thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. But first, we must tend to our own flame. If you found value in these ancient yet timeless teachings on energy protection, I invite you to take one small step today. Choose just one of these 5 shields and commit to practicing it for the next week. Notice how it affects your energy levels, your relationships, and your sense of inner peace. For deeper exploration of Buddhist wisdom applied to modern challenges, subscribe to our channel. Each week, we bridge ancient teachings with contemporary science to help you live with greater clarity, purpose, and peace. In the comments below, I'd love to hear which of these 5 shields resonates most strongly with you, or share a specific situation where you could apply one of these practices. Your insight might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. Thank you for your presence and attention. 2 of the most valuable forms of energy you can share. Until next time, may you be protected, may you be peaceful, and may you recognize the boundless strength that has always existed within you.